right, I'm in downtown San Bernardino at D and 8th Street, standing out in front of a hitching post here in San Bernardino in front of the Heritage House. Alan, tell us a little bit about this place.
Well, the Heritage House was moved here in the 70s. It was originally where the police department is today. The house was built in 1891 by Judge Otis. Judge Otis came to us by the way of Boston, Massachusetts. He was a lawyer, and he was under the teachings of Richard Henry Dana, who eventually moved out here, and Dana Point was named after.
So start us off. You want us to come out here on the curb, which is pretty interesting. Why is this so unique where we're standing?
We're on the only remaining carriage corner in San Bernardino, and that's why you see it arced like this, because the carriages couldn't make an abrupt turn.
Like in cars.
Right.
So this roundness here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the hitching posts.
Well, when you were going to visit your friends, you tied your horses up here, and you went in, and they wouldn't take off. So that's why we had the hitching posts. It's almost every house.
Almost every house, and yet I don't see any horses walking around the streets anymore.
Today.
Not today, huh? All right, so let's go inside and check out the Heritage House. Now, this house, how old is it?
It was built in 1891.
Wow, and it was located, you said, just a few blocks down, right?
Just a few blocks over.
We've made our way up on the porch.
The rear porch.
What are we looking at here?
Well, this is the plaque explaining the origin of the house, the Historical Society, when the house was moved here and who was responsible for doing it.
Okay. So in 1984 is when it was marked a point of historical interest.
Point of historical interest.
Okay.
A point of historical interest because it was moved from its original location.
Gotcha.
Not a historical site.
Okay. And so we are making our way inside.
We're going to go inside. The first thing you're going to see is the first edition of the new house.
Oh, the bathroom, huh?
The bathroom. You'll notice on this that we have a gravity pull chain toilet. And you notice that there's no toilet seat on the toilet either. So you never get in trouble for leaving the lid up.
Yeah, but I'm just looking and I'm like, well, how do you sit?
You just sit on there.
You just sit?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it had a marble sink. It was a great addition to this house when they did the porch in the back.
And they had the smoke detectors, which were in vogue back then.
Yeah, that's all new stuff.
It's all this stuff.
You'll see the high ceilings here.
Uh-huh.
And the house appears to be two-story, but it's not. When they constructed a lot of these in the arid climates, they had higher ceilings and tall attics to keep the house cool. When we go in, if you'll notice some of the windows, they're tall slide windows. Mm-hmm. I grew up in a house similar to this. You would open up the bottom of the window 1 foot and the top 1 foot. Cool air comes from the bottom, hot air exits to the top.
Wow. Look at these walls. Wow.
Picture of the Harrises.
Yeah.
From the Harris Company. The sewing machine was the first sewing machine in the valley. It was brought in by one of the pioneers. And the bed was originally out of the Harris estate too.
Wow.
We have some old dresses and just a lot of artifacts, typical of what you would see in a house like this in 1890.
Now, is it wallpaper? Is
Wallpaper.
it design?
It's all wallpaper.
And that's what was very popular at that
Yes.
time?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, so the room, it kind of opens up in here.
It opens up quite a bit. The fireplace was the only heating device in the house. So we would have a big fire going here, and let's say we had company that we wanted to entertain in here.
Uh-huh.
We would pull these pocket doors closed,
Oh, okay.
and that would direct the heat in one direction. So
okay.
the pocket doors were instrumental in how the heat was circulated through the house.
So the fireplace doesn't open up on either side?
This
Okay,
is it
just
right
in
here. This was equivalent to a den. These cabinets here are all of artifacts from San Bernardino. They're not original, of course, but it's a good display area. This would be like a den where the people could come in here, they could sew, they could write, they could do a number of things like that. They could play games here. Unlike houses of today that we have large front porches here.
Yes.
You would sit out there, you would wave, everybody knew their neighbors. The social activity took place there, not in the backyard. The neighbors would stop by, you would invite them in for maybe some ice water or some lemonade, and the social activities would take place. And this was more of an entertainment room for the adults. Mm-hmm. You had the bay window here that you could see out. You had the music, the record player here. You had the organ that they could play, or you had books that you could read. The organ was donated to us from a pioneer family, and that was an original organ from San Bernardino. If you look at the music book there, Vale says San Bernardino, California on there. One of the unique features of this house is the transom windows, and I'll show you a couple other ones. You'll see the controller over here. Again, this could be lifted, pulled down, and that window will open, allowing hot air to exit the room.
Oh.
And that's called a transom window. There's two more in the house. What about this room do you notice that's different from the other ones?
Well, there's no heater. You have that.
Well, I'll
yeah, why don't you help me out here, please?
It's the largest room.
Okay, yeah.
The dining room is the largest room. This is where a lot of the social activity took place. In 1891, you didn't talk to your neighbors and said, let's go to El Torito and have dinner. You would meet at people's house. This is where everybody sat down. The kids all sat down. This is where the family nucleus sort of got together, was in the dining room here. The dinner time and the meals were major events in a family's life. Most of the old houses had pantries where they stored their food and dry goods. The unique thing about this one, it had a pass-through. So when the person decided what they were going to cook, they could come in here and select the items and then pass them right through to the sink instead of carrying them through this hole here. The irons were heated on the stove.
Oh my goodness, no, whoa, that's heavy.
So you kept 2 or 3 of them, and when one got cool, you grabbed the other one.
Wow.
You had your sink here.
So there was the sink with running water in here.
Yes, on this one. We always have a little quiz on that machine up there, what that did.
My guess is clothes.
Pasta maker, spaghetti maker. The container on the end over here, sausage press.
Is that one of those, like you put your recipe right there and it's a holding stand?
Not close. It's a candle mold. Oh. They would run their string and out here, then they would pour the tallow in here, and they would mold their own candles. Over here was a unique thing. You hung this in your window, and this was from this happened to be from Mountain Water Ice in San Bernardino, but this told the iceman how much ice to deliver based on where it was hanging. You could order 25, 50, 75, or 100-pound blocks of ice. Your back door was always open. The iceman saw what he needed. He would come in.
I was just about to ask you, where do you put it?
The ice in here, and the ice would store up here, and of course cold air is heavier than warm air, so the cold air would go down and keep all your goods refrigerated down here.
I'm really curious about that big metal box I see out there.
That's our jail.
Huh?
That's our jail.
So we should go check it out.
Okay.
All right. So we are standing in front of, what, the first jail in San Bernardino?
The first jail in San Bernardino County. Contrary to what it says on there, the first jail in Southern California, and the date, this was the first jail in San Bernardino County, but the date was about 1855. The Mormons left that year and the town became a little rowdy, so the townspeople decided it was time to build a jail.
Is this how it was constructed back then?
There was a bed here and a bed here, and you can see these tabs here. There was 2 more beds here. So actually 4 people would stay in this jail. Here's why they call him the Slammer.
Alan, what's with all the rocks?
These rocks are Indian grinding stones, and they all came from the valley. They were donated to us by the Smith family. Gerald Smith was the person that started the county museum.
Unbelievable. And then behind us here, what do we have behind us here?
Well, behind us here we have an original hitching post that was actually about 100 yards down here on 8th Street, made out of granite. And then we have a couple of vestiges of the old Orange Grove days, and those are the smudge pots. No longer in use because of the air pollution, but this was a valley that was filled with citrus, and during the freezing weather, the smudge pots were used to keep the citrus from freezing.
This has been really fascinating. I'm a history buff. I love learning about history, especially local history. If people want to know your hours of operation or where to find you online, where would they go?
Well, online it would be sbhistoricalsociety.com, and our hours are every Saturday from 10 to 2.
10 to 2. All right. This is great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Again, right here in San Bernardino in the Inland Empire. This is cool. Thanks.
Thank you.
We should go make dinner.
Yeah.